Ashna, and I'll be your virtual tutor today. In this lesson, we're going to be learning how to convert between different units of measurement. So the first thing we're going to go over are the systems of measurement that you may have heard of. So there's the metric system of measurement, which is based on the meter, kilogram, and the second. And in most of the world, it is the standard system of measurement. And when you're learning science, you usually use this system in your calculations. But if you are in the United States has its own system called the U.S. customary system. And that includes units such as the inch, foot, yard, and mile, which are more commonly used there over the meter and the kilogram. So, two basic rules to remember. When you're converting from a larger unit to a smaller unit, remember to multiply. This is because we want a bigger number, and when we multiply, we get this. Now, you may be wondering why we need a bigger number when we're going to a small unit. So think of it this way. So if you know the conversion, that there are 12 inches in 1 foot, and I say I need to go from a foot to inches, right? So because an inch is much smaller than a foot, there are many inches in 1 foot. So going from a foot to inches, you would multiply by 12 because there are more inches in 1 foot. I hope that makes sense. So in the same way, if you're going from small to large, you're going to then divide. This is because we want a smaller number, and when we divide, we get the smaller number. So in the same way, going from 12 inches to feet, you're going to divide by 12 because there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So yeah. So these are just some measurements to know that are very commonly used. I'm just going to leave this up here for around 5 seconds, but you don't have to memorize these right now. You can always come back to it, but it's just good to know, and you might be using this in the future. You will have to know this in the future, but when we're doing our problems today and going over it, I will have the conversions on the side. Okay. So let's start with an example. So if I say to convert 4 feet into inches, so conversions on the side, in 1 foot there are 12 inches. So here's how you're going to do it. Going from feet to inches is big to small, so you're actually going to multiply. So remember that we are multiplying to get from feet to inches. So you're going to start with 4 feet, and then so that's the given information. You always start with what's given. Then we said we are going to multiply, and then all you do is you take your conversion and you multiply it by that. So there are 12 inches in a foot, so you multiply it by 12, 4 times 12, because each foot has 12 inches. So that's the conversion, and that will give you 48 inches, and that's your answer. So let's try another one. Hopefully you'll get the process. So if we're going from 63 feet into yards, so in 1 yard there are 3 feet. And for this one, we are going from feet to yards. So we're going from a small unit to a bigger unit, which means we need to divide. So in the same way, we're going to start with 63 feet, the given information. We're going to divide, because it's small to big, by the conversion, which is 3 feet in a yard, which just gives us 21 yards. So all we're basically doing is taking the given information, then either multiplying it or dividing it by the conversion that's given, and then we're getting our answer. So now we're going to just try a 2-step conversion, and all this means is we're going to have to go through 2 different units of measurement to get to the final answer. So I'm asking how many minutes are in 4 days. So in order to do this, we're going to start with 4 days. Then we're going to convert that into hours, and then we're going to get minutes from the hours. So what we're going to have to do is do days to hours in step 1, and then hours to minutes in step 2. So we're going the whole process, we're going from large, which is 1 day, to minutes, which is much smaller than a day. So we're going to multiply because we need a bigger number at the end. So the step 1 is going from days to hours. So we're going to put up the conversion. So 1 day is 24 hours. So we're going to multiply 4 days times 24 hours, which gives us 96 hours. So now we know that 4 days is equal to 96 hours. So now we can take that 96 hours and convert it to minutes. So let's do that. So in 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. So we're going to multiply 96 by 60 minutes, and that will give us 5,760 minutes in 4 days. And that's the final answer. So now you guys are going to try a conversion, and this is a 2-step conversion, and I'm going to put up the conversion right here. So that should give you a hint of how to do it. So we're going to convert 3,000 millimeters to meters. So just a hint here, we are going from millimeters, which is a small unit, to a large unit. So think about whether you have to multiply or divide. So go ahead and pause the video right now, and we will go over it when you come back. Okay, so hopefully you were able to solve this problem. So we're gonna start with the given. We know we have 3,000 millimeters, and just means millimeters. And since we're going from a small unit to a large unit, we are dividing. So divide that by, look at our conversion. We know that there are 10 millimeters in the centimeters, so we're going to divide that by 10 millimeters, and then we're going to get 300 centimeters. So that's the first step. So 3,000 millimeters is equal to 300 centimeters. Then in the second step, we're going to start with 300 centimeters, divide that by 100 centimeters, because there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. And that will give us 3 meters. So there are 3 meters is the same thing as 3,000 millimeters. So that's the end of this lesson. I hope this made sense. Go ahead and check out the presentation to practice some games. And yeah, thank you.